from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. This is a bit of a weird one for me. I am recording this video today, March the 1st, right? I'm recording on March 1st. I normally have a bit of a buffer zone, but I've been sick, and I've been doing, really trying to take time off. I feel better today. I'm still really weak and aching, man. But, so I'm behind on my videos. Now, to add insult to injury, now, next week's a nightmare, because next week on Sunday, I got, it's not a nightmare, I disagree. There's a lot of happy things. There's my son's, big graduation from, his advanced training in, what was it? I think he's in a special unit in the tank corps, I believe. So that's on Sunday. That takes all day, right? So that's plug out by Sunday. Then, what day is it? Tuesday or Wednesday is Purim. That is a juggernaut through the week, because you're supposed to get blind drunk, and that normally takes me a day to recover as well. So I'm doing a stream the day after. What day is it? Let me look it up. What day is Purim? It should be soon. Hang on. I'll tell you right now. Purim 2023 starts in the evening of March 6th until. So what day is March 6th? March 6th. Well, today's the 1st, right? So we got 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. So today's, what day is today? Today's Wednesday? Today's Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Right, Monday night, big piss up, right? So I got to get another video ready for Monday night. Tuesday, I'll probably do a stream on Tuesday. Even though I'm going, listen, if you're young, enjoy getting drunk. That's really my advice to you. Really enjoy getting drunk, because when you're old, it's a nightmare, right? Up until I was 30, I used to be able to get paralytically drunk and then just shake it off. I'm like, oh, springtime. I was fine, right? I was fine. Now, I feel like somebody's jamming an ice pick into my brain for a couple of days afterwards. I am not a fan, right? I am not a fan. But anyway, it's just a big deal, right? You got to give these presents to everybody that you got to make, and yes, okay. This is the last aside, right? But now I'm feeling better, right? I'm feeling probably better because I've got to make 30 toffee apples, or candy apples if you're in America, for our these little presents you give out called Shalok Bonot. So I got to make 30. I'm doing 10 tomorrow to see if I can get into a groove or work out how to do it. I think here's another tip. Always do more than one batch, right? Because you get better at things the more you go along. But that is a perfect segue, because Doctor Who fan media does not get better. No, the more they go, no, they don't. Oh my God, we're living in an age of mental illness, right? We're living in a genuine age of mental illness, and what we're seeing from our little niche here in fandom is that playing out in real time. Because look, they spent the last 5 years 100% convinced, right? 100% convinced that the reason Brexit and Donald Trump happened is because people hate black people or gay people or women or I don't know, everything. They all just hate. So I got to vote for Brexit and Donald Trump. No. So that's the first part. They'll convince me unconvinced of that nothing would change that. No, that's why those things happened, even though Brexit really didn't happen, and Donald Trump, I think, also had a similar fate of Brexit, right? But anyway, so then they said, we have to make the world not racist because it's so super duper racist. We're like, no, it's not racist, mate. We just like their economic and immigration policy. No, we got to make the world not racist. We got to educate the world not to be racist, right? And it's going to work. It's going to work. We're going to take over everything. We're going to break the glass ceiling for Doctor Who. Yes, finally, what you've always wanted. Oh, what? What do I always want? Oh, what you've always wanted. You're going to have a lady Doctor Who. I'm like, I don't really give a crap, really, honestly, but okay, I'll give it a go. It looked good. I thought it'd be good. It was shit. It was unwatchable shit, right? See, this is what we saw in Doctor Who is basically what we're seeing in the current White House, right? This intense arrogance coming in saying, we know everything better than you. Oh, yes, we're stunning and brave. And we're the future. Oh, the adults are back in the room. Oh, yes. And then proceed to screw up over and over and over and over and over again. There is really very little difference between the Obama, not the Obama, essentially the Obama White House, I should say, the Biden White House and the Chris Chibnall production team and Doctor Who, in that they were just so utterly convinced of their own brilliance, of their own talent, right? They had no clue it was going to fail and fail so incredibly heavily. And that's why they're in complete and total denial that it failed, right? Because it's them failing in their mind, because they've never been told they're wrong about anything, right? They've never been able to hear they're wrong about everything. And now we're at the brink of World War III because they could not hear they were wrong about anything, right? That's essentially it. So that's playing itself out in a slightly easier way here in Fandom. We just got idiot articles to read, which we're going to do right now. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I just got a bunch of them. I'm going to go as long as I can. I'm really, genuinely, I'm sick. Look, that's not faking. That's really sick, okay? I'm genuinely sick. So, to wish me better, could you hit the subscribe button? That'd be really nice. I would use anything. Okay, this is absolutely the last aside, right, before we get into the articles. Absolutely, I promise. Super double promise, unless I think of something else. Right, my mother, of blessed memory, she died, about 15, 17 years ago, quite some time. Right, so she had cancer, and she would wield it like a blade. Right, she was on a plane once, and they sat her within 10 rows of smoking. That's how far back it is. Right, they were smoking on planes, which was awesome. Let me tell you, when we used to be able to smoke on planes, everything was better. And I hate to be the one to break that to you, but it really was. Everything was better when you could smoke on planes. It's weird. It's a weird correlation, but it's really true, right? So she was in 10 rows of the smoking section. So she like loudly says, "I didn't go through 6 months of chemotherapy to sit in the smoking section." And she made such a fuss, they moved her to first class, right? But that wasn't enough, right? That wasn't enough, right? When they came to give her food, they were going to give her the economy food. She says, "Excuse me," but this is why I say, all the worst parts of myself come directly from my mother, and I love all of them. She was like, "Excuse me, you invited me here to first class. You will give me the first class food." They're like, "Yes, I'm very good." This was like, yes, that's basically what happened. So the same way, I've been sick. I'm making this video. You can hit the subscribe button. It's a lower level, right? It's a lower level, but it's still there. Like, share, subscribe, comment, sign up my Substack. Oh! It is an aside, sort of, right? I apologize. On my sign up, look at the video. Sign up my Substack, right? Substack has my email note. Is my email. What's the word? Newsletter? I don't know. My email group, right? The email list, whatever. So I'm trying to put out these things on books on tape, right? Using AI voices that are cloned. This one from Colin Baker. And I'm trying to really make it a much better job. And as I said, I've been sick, so I haven't had much time. So I'm spending a lot more time on it to make it sound better, and it's taking a lot more time, right? But you get that on my Substack. Please sign up. You will get it. I hope to have that out this week. I do apologize. I genuinely apologize, right? Fine. Let's get into the video. Like 10 minutes in. First idiot article of the day. Jeez, bloody Christ. Man. Why are you beating a dead horse? And why does that kid look a little bit like a dead horse? I mean, like, really? Doctor Who's Timeless Child has been canon since the 90s. No, it hasn't. Idiot. Really? Has been canon since the 90s? I was there in the 90s. No, it wasn't. You're talking shit, right? You're talking absolute unexpurgated shit, right? If you get past this article, I'll be impressed. Doctor Who's Timeless Child arc divided fans. No, not really. It divided them into fans of Doctor Who and fans of this weird cult that became Doctor Who. By apparently rewriting history. But the show's huge reveal had been the plan for decades. You idiot, ignorant, lying cunt. And I think that's the technical phrase for you. You're ignorant, idiot, lying cunt. Yes, that's the The word I would use, yes. The words I would use. In fact, not only words I would use, it's the words I did use. So, well done. The introduction of the Timeless Child shook up Doctor Who canon in a big way. Well, not really. It just decanonized Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who, which Rusty Davies is going to do. That is going to happen, right? I believe that the Jodie Whittaker Doctor spent her entire tenure in the toy maker's realm, or whoever it may be in the realm, and that way they're going to explain away all the continuity errors, which were just so many you can't even list them. We're up to the Timeless Child, Doctor Who, the big way, and a lot of fans were not happy. Well, okay, it's not just that. It's the I think you can absolutely tell, at least I can tell the intention behind the filmmakers or the TV makers, the creators' decision, right? It's very obvious to me that Lawrence Fishburne was cast as Perry White in the Zack Snyder Sleuthman movies because he was a really cool interpretation of it. He exuded that authority that was Perry White, right? I love Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White. It's equally obvious to me that Jeffrey Wright, who fantastic actor, right? I absolutely adore Jeffrey Wright's acting. Think he's a douchebag in real life, but you know they all are. Was cast for his skin color for Commissioner Gordon in that turgid Batman movie, right? Same with this, right? Same with this. What was the function of the Timeless Children, right? It was to make the Doctor less black and less white and less male, right? Less black. Good. Honestly, yeah, I don't think the Doctor could be less black until he shooting. Okay, right? He was a very less black Doctor, but like make it less male and less white, essentially. Now, why did this why did this trend happen? I think it's worth talking about. It's because I think something called ESG. ESG is this weird new way of controlling people through the threat of environmentalism, essentially. And corporations get better financial terms the better their ESG score is. It's just pure. It is pure evil, I think, and it's being used as a way to essentially steal from corporations. Let them steal from smaller people. Yeah, people who are not school corporations. I mean, that's what happened with the Dutch farmers. So anyway, the ESG says, wait a minute, there's not enough women in management positions, right? Not enough women in management positions. So you must be racist. You must be sexist. We don't have. So there was a push. Same thing happened in Big Finish to have more with their writers to have more women in the executive management positions. Now, if the demand then goes up and the pool doesn't increase, then the quality goes down, which is exactly what happened. So men and women are different, which I know is a completely taboo idea in 2023. But men and women are different. One difference which I often cite is the way boys and girls play. Boys imagine that the character that they're playing with is them, right? They are Han Solo, right? They are they are that character, right? But the girls imagine the character is them. It's a subtle difference. They are Princess Buttercup, rather. Timmy is Han Solo, but Princess Buttercup is Sally, right? It's a weird inversion. But the basic thing of the basic ideal of this is that masculine characters very, very defined character traits, so the young boys can mimic them. I mean, for kids, and feminine characters for children have very limited character traits, so girls can imprint themselves upon them. Right. So that's where I think the idea of people need to be able to see themselves in their in their media. Look, I'm not for erasure. Like, I think why do I not mind Yasmin Finney in the Rusty Davies Doctor Who? Well, firstly, I'm a big Rusty Davies supporter / apologist. It depends how you want to look at it, right? But essentially, because there are trans people in society, and I think having one trans bloody character isn't the end of the world. I think it's normal now, right? There is a wave of trans kids now. Now, why that is a whole other discussion, right? But essentially, that's why there was a push to get rid of the white maleness of Doctor Who. So to make the worst atrocities that always happen, the worst thing that happen is always when people are trying to be good. Right? People are trying to be good. People are like, well, black people need to be able to see themselves on TV. Well, firstly, they could. But secondly, it wasn't about the black people, right? I look at the Black Little Mermaid, for example, right? And I look at it and go, who do you think that's for? Do you think it's for black people? No. It's for white people to feel good about themselves. I think they got addicted to it during the Obama years. They're like, oh, we're so wonderful. We elected a black president. Yes, a black. We did that. That's how racist white liberals are, in my opinion, right? That is genuinely how racist they are. They just look at black people like they're lesser beings. It's so bizarre. Right, and at the same time, they thump their chest about how anti-racist they are. If you're so anti-racist, you want to try not being so racist, right? So that's essentially the vortex which the timeless child existed in, right? What it was created for. So that's why people were miffed with it, right? Because they basically wanted to make the Doctor, the white maleness of the Doctor, to be an aberration. Now, and did it work out well, is the question. No, it really didn't. Now, I'm not opposed for there being a black Doctor. Honestly, I thought Patterson Joseph was going to get the role instead of Matt Smith. I was surprised. I think Patterson Joseph back in 85 would have been a fantastic choice, right? 1985 would be the time to have a black Doctor, because then I think it would actually been meaningful, right? And would have like propelled the show forward. I wish I could go back in time and whisper to John Nathan Turner, said, how about getting a really hot black guy, right? How about doing that? Because I don't think he was opposed to really hot guys, right? I just don't think he was opposed to that at all. So, but now, like I said, I'm not opposed to it at all. I am opposed to tokenism. I think a great example of that is The Last of Us. That's a fungoid zombie apocalypse that's going on right now on HBO Max. So the third episode had I think, absolutely beautiful episode with Nick Offerman as a survivalist who creates, after the zombie apocalypse, he creates his own enclave, right? And then there's somebody stumbles upon it a few years later, and he's alone, and they end up together, and they end up gay. He turns out he's gay, right? But that's not the definition of the character, right? It wasn't tokenism. It was real representation. It was showing a different world, right? And I was like, yeah, this is great storytelling. This is great acting. This is exactly what we've always wanted, right? And then episode 7, which happened this week, was pure tokenism, right? You had the main character, turned out to be a lesbian. Well, we all knew. I mean, it was so obvious. It was just, oh God, and it's tokenism. It's waving around people's identity to wrap that around you as a cloak of virtue. It's disgusting. So that may be why the Timeless Children didn't go down so incredibly bloody well, right? Also, it was shit. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. It was just moronic shit. It made no fucking sense whatsoever. So with those things arraigned against it, it wasn't the best moment for Doctor Who. I think that's fair. The Timeless still will first refer to Jodie Whittaker's first season as the Doctor, but will not be fully explained until the end of the second season. Yeah, I understand, but it's how did those bits of cloth know about it when the Doctor didn't? There's Carvanista apparently flying around, who was the fugitive Doctor's companion or something. It was just shit. It was all just shit. Nothing made sense, and I think that's what Rusty Davies is coming to fix, along with Doctor Who, right? And I think he's perhaps the only person who could really retcon that away with it and get away with it. So what are we up to? But we're not explained until it will not be fully explained. It was never fully explained. Let's be clear. When the Doctor found herself back on Gallifrey, which was destroyed by the Master for reasons. I mean, it's just such bad fucking writing. Oh God, everything about it sucks. What are we up to? Isabel gets a master. A deep dive into the hidden Gallifreyan history reveals that the Doctor was not who she thought she was, but in fact the progenitor for the entire Time Lord race. The big reveal, again, replete with continuity problems. The big reveal appeared to rewrite Doctor Who history and its roots in the unrealized plans for McCoy's final seasons. Absolutely not! You lying, ignorant, idiot cunt. I see we're using that expression again. Yeah, no, it had nothing to do with Sylvester fucking McCoy. Will you just stop with that nonsense? Absolute drivel. And I read, look, but New Adventures, I'm actually serializing them on books on tape. I know these very well. This is my era. So some of these stories then went on to inspire Doctor Who novels published while the show was off the air. This is a real, very poor retelling, inaccurate retelling of events. Doctor Who's so-called wilderness years lasted from 1990 up until 2004. The period in which the BBC put Doctor Who on indefinite hiatus with no new seasons of the show. While no new seasons of the show were produced during this era, we did see a wealth of Doctor Who content created in the world of publishing. Yeah, listen, I honestly... I remember, I think it was one of the few times I had a letter published in Doctor Who magazine that I said, look, we've never had it so good. We got Big Finish every month. We got the Virgin Adventures and the BBC books. This is the most Doctor Who content we ever got, and it's the highest quality. It's the most consistently highest quality, right? I liked Sylvester McCoy's run, but let's be fair. Colin Baker's run was why I love it, right? I love season 22. I want to be clear. I absolutely love season 20. It's my happy place. I will go there often. It was still shit, right? You gotta be honest with yourself. It was still shit. Like all the wildly inappropriate violence didn't work, right? And I think Eric Sayward shoved it in there to offset the lack of ideas that he had, because I think Colin Baker's casting and coach just short-circuited him. He's like, well, I can't do anything. He's in a clown's outfit. Blah! And he just threw up his hair. And I think that's where things like Time Lash came from, right? Although, go check out my video about where Time Lash really came from. That's actually, I think, quite funny. Anyway. Across various novels, comics, and other... Oh, that's the other thing. Doctor Who magazine comic strip was in sync with the new adventures. It was great. Friggin' love that. Other published over the years. The idea of the other was introduced to Doctor Who lore. Well, that was in Lungbarrow, right? That was in one story, Lungbarrow. And it was heavily intimated that was a Doctor. There was three people that created Time Lord Society. You had Rassilon, Omega, and the Other, right? And they had a great bit of world building called Other's Tide. It was the holiday when the Other was cast out. So you got a little bit of very doctorish, other dialogue at the beginning of the book of Longbarrow, where you see him leaving Gallifrey. Oh no, he doesn't leave Gallifrey. He throws himself into the loom, right? So the part of the lore at the time was that Time Lords aren't born; they're weaved, they're loomed, and houses of. I thought all this stuff was great. I thought this was really good. Gallifreyan houses have a loom, and they have like 12 members of the household, and they're loomed, essentially. They're like knitted. So the Doctor, when he came out, he was loomed with a belly button, and that's why he got the nickname Wormhole, right? Which indicates that he was really a new incarnation of the Other, right? All this got retconned away into a pocket universe when I think the BBC book started, essentially. Yeah. So by the time Rusty Davies came along, it was well over, right? It was great story writing. What does this have to do with the Timeless Child, right? What on earth does this have to do with Brendan? Right? And I'm intrigued to know. Mysterious Ancient Time Lord, if indeed the Other was a Time Lord, shared many characteristics with the Timeless Child and Tecteun. No, one was interesting, the other was shit. What are these similarities? Oh, they both had arms. Oh, well, there you go. And they both had legs. The Gallifreyan explorer who discovered the child. In essence, the Timeless Child storyline only served to bring these ideas into the mainstream Doctor Who. They're not even similar. Much closer. And I think much more successful for that is when you had all the Doctors in Jodie's last episode, which wasn't good, but at least they had Jodie in it at the absolute minimum. That was probably her best episode. And it still was, like, not good, right? It's just not... Why? Because you got Jodie Whittaker's performance and she's just not up for this role. I just don't think she's got the acting chops for this role. She just doesn't, right? Bottom line. So in what was it, the fourth of the Virgin New Adventures? It takes a lot of it takes place in the Doctor's mindscape, right? And you got all these different Doctors inside the mindscape of and you meet the fourth Doctor, the third Doctor, a few of them, right? It's really quite good, and the fifth Doctor. But that's essentially, that was much closer to what we saw with the Guardians of the Change over there, which I thought was a nice idea to bring back the old actors, right? I thought that actually kind of worked. Fine. So, no, it didn't. It didn't. Like, one was well written and worked with canon. One totally didn't. I'm sorry. And don't go, what about the Mobius Doctor? That proves it. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I mean, really? We don't know who the Morbius Doctors were, but Robert Holmes in a wig doesn't prove the bloody timeless fucking children! Obviously! Okay, towards the end, the end of the original broadcast run, which began in 1963, including in 89, plans were drawn up behind the scenes to reintroduce mystery into the origins of the Doctor and the Time Lords. Well, this is Andrew Cartmel. Essentially, okay, here's essentially what happened. The relationship between John Nathan Turner and Eric Saywood deteriorated. They were on a high on season 25, or season 20, right? They were really on a high. They had their 5 Doctors. They were doing great. They had Longley. They was having incredible success, right? They were on an absolute high. Season 21 went equally okay, but then you hit Colin Baker's casting, and Eric Saywood and John Nathan Turner's relationship deteriorated because Eric Saywood hated John Nathan Turner's casting and hated John Nathan Turner's casting of Colin Baker and the costume, right? It started to deteriorate, right? And then he didn't like season 22 at all. Season 23, he detested. He hated the ending for it, and he quit in the middle. And then he published this really scathing interview in Starburst, right? Really, really, genuinely, like, viciously savaging John Nathan Turner. And, like, not entirely without merit. Like, things he was saying were true, but it's was still horribly unprofessional because you can see he was just so wound up at being ignored and not being listened to and having to put up with this nonsense, right? So in came Andrew Cartmel as the new script editor. John Nathan Turner thought he was out. Poor bastard, right? He thought, look, he's got to fire Colin Baker, but then they'll move him on to a different show. So he fired Colin Baker, right? This is terrible what happened. They fired Colin Baker. He hated doing it. And they said, we would like you to do just one more year. Well, just one more year. So he bought in Andrew Cartmel. He did season 24. Didn't really understand what they were doing, but during that time, they worked it out. And by season 25, they reinvented Doctor Who. So that's what this is, right? But season 25, it really was. The stark difference between season 24 and season 25, huge. Like, huge. There's a difference between Star Trek Picard season 2 and season 3. Huge. Huge. They're coming from China. Yes, they are. So, yeah, plans were drawn up. So there's basically Andrew Cartmel working on, and also it's segged into Cecil McCoy. What he wanted, it was fashionable at the time. You had Alan Moore was reinventing comics by adding, like, depth, darkness, and layer to, two-dimensional heroes. And Andrew Cartmel was trying to do something similar, right? Adding areas of depth, right? Sometimes it works. Mostly it worked. Remembrance of the Daleks, right? Yes. Remembrance of the Daleks when he was talking about the remote stellar manipulating the hand of Omega. Did we have trouble with the prototype? They right, things like that. Sometimes it didn't work so well. Silver Nemesis. It was like but that's what they were going for. Although I did like the effects work in Silver Nemesis. Anyway, I liked all the cyber ships. Anyway, I digress. Where are we up to? Yeah, we're not getting past this article. To be fair, we're not getting past this article. Makes it much easier to do a thumbnail for it now. Now I know it's not going to be an eclectic video. They're into mystery plans to reintroduce mystery into the Doctor and the Time Lords. When the series began, almost nothing was known of the Doctor's origins before, and he hailed from another time, another world. That's true. It was even hinted the Doctor may have been a human settler on an alien planet. Over the years, we introduced a lot of the lore. We introduced the Time Lords and Gallifrey, and then redefined them in Deadly Assassin. Thus, the audience would learn far more about the Doctor's home planet and its people during the Seventh Doctor era. Script editor Andrew Cartmel and series writers set out to restore the mystery to the series. Yes, absolutely. Now, having things that don't make sense isn't restoring a mystery. Showing there's a bigger story does restore the mystery, right? So the whole you have a doctor show up, the Joe Martin doctor show up, and she doesn't recognize the Jodie Whittaker's doctor, and Jodie Whittaker doesn't recognize her, and they go, fuck it, who cares? We'll work it out later. No, we won't. We don't care. We literally don't care, right? That's not a mystery. That's bad fucking writing. Cartmel, along with writers Ben Aronovich and Mark Platt, concocted an idea that would later dub the Cartmel Master Plan. Those involved, however, that makes sense, have admitted it was more of a general story direction than a detailed plan for the series' future. Yeah, I mean, they tried to realize it on Big Finish and it really didn't work very well. The plans for season 27. My favourite unrealized plans that never happened was from Doctor Who magazine, issue 268, I'm guessing. 26 something, I think, or 23 something, I can't remember, where Sophie Aldred was the guest editor. So I'll give you enough information you can find it out, where they did a proposed season 27, 28, and 29 with Richard Griffiths as the Doctor, with Phil Bevan doing some great illustrations. That was really cool, okay? That was great. Those involved, however, had a general storyline. The basic idea into Cartmel, Aronovich and Platt was the Doctor would be revealed to be an incarnation of the other, a mysterious figure from Gallifreyan history that helped Rassilon and Omega establish Time Lord society, and then fell out and went their separate ways. Cartmel didn't necessarily want the secret origins stated out in Doctor Who, but he wanted to be able to drop hints of it. Well, that Lung Barrow was Ghostlight, right? That was the first pass at Lung Barrow of Ghostlight was Lung Barrow, and it gave everything away too quickly, as John Nathan Turner's call, and he was right? He was absolutely right? And it would have been great. I love Lung Barrow. Why hasn't Big Finish done an adaptation of that? We don't really need to wait anymore. Like, give it 5 years, type that into AI, baby. We're going to have a video of it. We'll have a movie of Lung Barrow. So that's how it became Ghostlight, which I freaking love Ghostlight. Cartmel didn't necessarily want this secret origin state out. By the way, Lung Barrow, instead of taking place in Gabriel Chase, it took place in Lung Barrow, the Doctor's ancestral home. And it would have been kind of like Spyfall, 15 years before Spyfall, where you go back to the origins, right? That was really, and the origins were actually really cool and sort of felt like it would have worked in Doctor Who. I like that a lot. But wanted to drop the hints about the Doctor's true origin and ask fans leaving the question, Doctor Who? What's his name? The blue guy did that at the end of season 7. Doctor Who! Yeah, it wasn't a great ending, but anyway. Doctor Who's secret origins as the first of the Time Lords. I mean, if you squint, yeah, but again, it's all in the execution, and the execution executed Doctor Bloody Who. Doctor Who was sadly cancelled much before much progress could be made on the so-called Cartmel Master Plan. A few hints were dropped and I am really, really intrigued. Again, if I could go back in time, right? What's his name? Guy who cancelled Doctor Who. Was the Director General. Michael Grade, right? Michael Grade I would love to have him watch Remembrance of the Daleks, and he'll be like, fuck me, this is good. I'll put this on TV. I bet he would have done, right? I bet he would have done. Because like he's somebody who could recognise if something was good or bad, and he recognised Doctor Who season 22 was bad. He was right. Twin Dilemma was an embarrassment to him. I get that. A few wizard drops in the series' final season, but the notion that Doctor was a reincarnated other was further explored in Virgin Publishing novel, a novelization of the 1988 Remembrance of the Daleks featured the first appearance of the other in flashback. Oh yeah, that was actually good. While the 1997 Long Barrow revealed that the Doctor was indeed intimated, not revealed, intimated. Fuck me, you can't even get that right. It's insane. It's insane how dumb these people are. Timeless storyline in which the child was not born again as the Doctor, but as the Doctor was regenerated. What? Well, this version differs slightly from the Timeless Child storyline. Oh, slightly. Well, it wasn't all wrapped around racism like the Timeless Child one was, yeah. In which the child was not born again as the Doctor, but the Doctor was a regenerated version of the child sent back to infancy. The broad strokes are much the same. Yeah, but again, the execution, right? That's really the bottom line. The execution of it is all bloody important, and the execution of this, like Chris Chibnall is not a good writer. That's the bottom bloody line. Chris Chibnall is not a good bloody writer. I don't know how to say things more clearly. Philip Hinchcliffe, who is a good writer, who is a good producer, sagely said Doctor Who is a show that finds you out, right? It's a show where there is no place to fudge. There's no place to hide. Right, you can't hide lack of talent in Doctor Who. You need ability to be able to write this, and the lack of talent on display in the Chibnall years is breathtaking. Not just from Chibnall, but from every other writer. Right, the lack of talent on display was something that we have never ever seen before. It was a breathtaking lack of talent. Right. Different universe from Andrew Cartmel, from Mark Platt, from Ben Aronovich, right? Different bloody universe. It really, really genuinely is. It's, something I would love to see them do. Go to these, like, iconic writers, and I think Ben Aronovich is an iconic Doctor Who writer, and say, okay, I want you to imagine you are the showrunner of Doctor Who, right? Whatever year you want, whatever era, whatever time, you're the showrunner. What would you do? And give them a box set. I would love to see Ben Aronovich's Doctor Who. I'd love to see Mark Platt's Doctor Who. I would like to see Gary Roberts' Doctor Who. Wouldn't that be? See, that's because I like writers, right? I'd go with writers, but the broad strokes are the same. I'm reading it again. Really, no, the broad strokes are not even similar. The broad strokes are much similar, as I said, with bringing back the old Doctors in Power of the Doctor. What was the Power of the Doctor? Oh, we didn't work that out. We didn't explain it. The pictures of the other in the wilderness years showed they helped establish Time Lord Society against Rassilon, alongside Rassilon and Omega. Okay, and the Doctor Who season 12 finale, the Timeless Child implied this role was taken on by Tectoon, and the Timeless Child adopted mother. Again, it's all about critical race and critical gender theory. Why is it shit? Because it's a platform for critical race and critical gender theory, which are both racist and sexist pieces of shit that should be erased from reality, right? I'm not a big book burner, but I'll be down with those ones going, right? Because why? Because that is the philosophy of burning bloody books. Do you doubt me? Go buy yourself a new copy of James Bond and Roald Dahl. Everything needs to be rewritten. We're living in Fahrenheit 451, mate. That's actually happening. Why? Because they walked. So they're saying Tectoon filled this role because they walked away in the distance with 3 other Time Lords. It might be surmised that the other is the other of Gallifreyan legend was in fact the amalgamator on both the Timeless Child and Tectoon. Or maybe you're just saying, "Oh, look, Christian will rip this off because he's doesn't have an idea in his bloody head, and he's a hack writer, and we can see where he ripped his ideas off." Are you saying that? Because then I think we're saying that we can all agree on. Doctor Who does have a strictly regulated canon like franchise, such as Star Wars. No, it doesn't. But okay, and that's going, mate. Look, once creators are able to create photorealistic TV shows and movies on their desktops, on their laptops, which is coming. That is so nearly here. I mean, again, look at Callum Weston's reconstruction of the Celestial Toymaker. It's incredible. It uses the same technology as Web of Fear, but it works, whereas Web of Fear was an absolute disaster, right? And what's the difference? I think it's because he knows his directional choices, right? Once, there is no barrier to creating media, which there isn't going to be one soon, right? The idea of canon falls apart, right? The idea of official canon absolutely falls apart. And if there's going to be like legal ramifications, but I don't know, just change. Yeah, the model I always go to is Watchmen. Watchmen was a comic book by Alan Moore featuring other superheroes made by somebody called the Charlton superheroes. They were being used, so Alan Moore just said, I'll do something similar. That's what you do. If you're an inventive person, if you're a creative person, if you're a clever person, you can do that, and you will do that, and that's where our media's coming from, right? As Doctor Who does not have a strictly regulated canon such as Star Wars, there's no reason to consider the novels featuring the other as non-canonical, other than they said they're non-canonical. The actual media that you're talking about says they're non-canonical, says they took place in a pocket fucking universe. Right, really? Can you get anything right? Oh, so there is that little reason. The reason, there's no reason to think they're non-canonical other than they're non-canonical. Oh yeah, there is that reason. Okay, fine. However, there may be distortions of history that have now illuminated by unearthed history of the timeless child. History of the timeless child. Look, just like everything Chris Chibnall does, literally just like everything Chris Chibnall does, you need to write reams and reams and reams of fan fiction to make it somehow fit into the general continuity of Doctor Who, and it still doesn't work, right? It still doesn't work, which is why I think Rusty Davies is coming with his big old retconning red pen, putting a line through all that bollocks, reuniting fandom once and for all, and hopefully expelling the insane toxic fandom who as of yesterday were apoplectically mad that David Tennant was on the front cover of Doctor Who magazine. I shit you not, ladies and gentlemen. I shit you not, that actually happened. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.